Trigger warnings in books. What do you think about them?
So he's asking if you like content warnings, if you put content warnings in your books, or if you want content warnings in your books. He doesn't like them. He doesn't want to use them, and he uses some comparisons of the type of warnings that come with TV shows and movies, which confused me a little bit because TV shows and movies basically have content warnings. I'm not sure if he's saying that what he's calling trigger warnings are more laid out and more precise than ratings that are on TV shows and movies. I don't know. You can go watch his video and decide for yourself what it is he's trying to say. But ultimately, his opinion is no content warnings. I personally don't read the content warnings when I'm reading a book. I'm a Gen Xer. I tend to just forge ahead and read. However, I do think that as an author, I do think that providing content warnings is important. It's so important, in fact, that I have gone back and republished my very first book that I wrote in 2015. And I just republished it last month with a new cover, with content warnings, and with some new material in it. Here's the thing. Content warnings are a nice to have. So if you want a content warning, and there's a lot of readers out there who like to have a content warning. I want them to feel that my book is accessible to them. So if they are like, oh, I love paranormal romance, but so often there's like SA in them, or maybe they don't want to deal with pregnancy loss or things like that. Can it give away a little bit of the plot? Yes, sometimes it can. But people who want content warnings, they know that going into reading they'd rather have the content warning and a little spoiler than not have the content warning and be traumatized. And I felt it was really important to include some triggers or content warnings in my book that in 2015 it wasn't a thing really to put content warnings in your books. Now it is, and so I think it's a lovely thing. I think it's a helpful thing. I want my readers to feel comfortable that want content warnings. So many women have dealt with pregnancy loss and SA and things like that, that some women just don't want to, they don't want to read that, and they're taking time to read it for pleasure. They don't want to be triggered by those kinds of things, because so many of us have dealt with SA and other things that just knowing that it's going to be in there sometimes is enough. Like, okay, they know it's going to be in there. They've had a little warning, or they know it's in there. They're not going to read it. And that's fine. That's helpful. It's only helpful. If people don't want to read the content warnings, they don't have to read them. They're there for the people who want them. I guess that's why I'm always confused by this argument about whether there should be content warnings. If you don't, they're there if you want to read them. And if you don't want to read them, don't read. No, they don't jump out at you. They don't pop up in your face. It's not like that. It's either in the front or the back or on some link in the website. And to this author, if you like the style of the way that TV shows do it, say just like by putting a V and an SA, or that kind of thing, you could do that for your books. There's no standard at this point. We're kind of making it up as we go. So anyway, yeah, I definitely think they're worth adding to books for readers, in particular women, traumatized women readers. But nobody's forcing anybody to put them in their books. Don't put them in your books if you don't want to. But I think that you're missing out on a lot of people who might otherwise read your book if they knew what kind of content, or what kinds of content they should be aware of. Happy reading, happy writing, everybody. Have a good night.